Hey, everybody. Welcome back to episode 5 of the Syntonic Tech Talk podcast. I'm sitting here with Caleb and Andrew. I'm Joe. We're ready to get back at it after about a month of hiatus. We got a lot of great news for you guys today, so I hope you stick around and listen to us talk, because it's going to be a pretty interesting podcast.
Yeah, so last weekend we went to the University of Cincinnati's Revolution UC Hackathon, and we participated in that.
For a bit.
We didn't stay the whole time, not the whole 24 hours. We made some headway on a project we wanted to start. We didn't get as much done as we'd liked, so...
It's a new project, new tools.
Don't want to give too much away, but it's something to do with VR, so we'll be, hopefully, giving some more information somewhat soon, maybe.
Yeah, somewhat in the near future.
I don't know how I feel about hackathons anymore, though.
They're rough.
They're rough. Makes you tired.
And whenever the work environment isn't ideal, it's a little slow.
Yeah, it's pretty stressful.
Free food,
free snacks, free cookies,
free shirt.
Yeah.
Free shirt. That's
free
the best thing.
Water bottle, but other than that,
was
free domains.
Pretty nice water bottle. Free domains.
Yeah, free domains.
That's great.
It's definitely good to poke your head in and get some free stuff.
I do like the environment.
Yeah.
For the most part.
For a bit.
Yeah.
But after 24
About
hours.
3 in the morning. Yeah. They should start them earlier. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
Any hackathon that starts after 12, I think, is going to be a rough battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially staying until the award ceremony.
Yeah.
We did that
that's like
for
30
the first
plus hours.
UC, and that was really, really rough.
But we're going to be backing at it for the next one, maybe in October. So it's a bit of ways away, but should be interesting. So I think we're going to move on to some news here. Got some hardware stuff to talk about. So recently, what was it, a week ago? Ryzen 5 came out, and a couple of days ago, a dude overclocked the 1600X, which is the top of the line of Ryzen 5, to 5.9 gigahertz on all the cores.
All 6.
All 6 up and active. And that's pretty crazy. Obviously, this is not on like air cool or liquid cool. It's on liquid nitrogen.
That's liquid?
Yeah, okay. Liquid cooling, but with nitrogen. That's pretty crazy. 5.9 gigahertz. It's
pretty fast.
Pretty fast. When I heard this, I didn't think it was going to be on all the cores, because that's just absurd. The base clock of this CPU is 3.6.
Yeah.
And then the overclock, like the
turbo.
The turbo is 4.0. But 5.9, that's just crazy. Broke a bunch of new like benchmarks and Cinebench and a bunch of other programs like that. To be expected. The people that do this, what is it called? It's like competitive overclocking, extreme overclocking.
Competitive. This is more than extreme.
Yeah. Look up some like videos about it, because it's crazy the stuff they do. They just pour liquid nitrogen onto their CPU and like through like this weird container. It has to like keep it cold. It's crazy. Moving on. So people are saying this is a reaction to Ryzen, but I don't know how to feel about that. Basically, Intel might be accelerating the timeline for their next chipset, X299, which is, I believe, after X99, and this is going to be for the Skylake X and Kaby Lake X platforms, which are like the HEDT high-end desktop, like really enthusiast line of CPUs. I don't think there's any pricing information out there. It was originally slated for like August, and it might be pushed up to end of June or July this year. And I don't know, but there's no pricing information out there, so I don't know what they're... I'm thinking they're going to be expensive, like all of the enthusiast series CPUs are, because Broadwell had some that are like over $1,000.
We all know how much that would do to...
Right, that's not...
Unless if they want to drop prices for the other chips.
Right, so here you can see that Kaby Lake X is only going to be quad-core CPUs, and then Skylake X is 6, 8, and 10, which I thought was kind of weird because Kaby Lake came after Skylake.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like...
Well, they probably had more time, I guess, just to perfect the Skylake X. And the Kaby Lake X is just kind of, I don't know.
But it's
quick.
Yeah. I don't know. Weird thing.
Also, the Kaby Lake has Turbo Boost 2.0.
Oh yeah. Versus Turbo Boost 3.
I guess that's probably for the CPU.
That's kind of interesting. I don't know the difference between like the different versioning of the Turbo Boost technology. So
it's kind of weird that the later one is on the earlier.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting. I'm not the market for this. This is like really, if you're gonna pour a lot of money into a computer, this is what you want, but might be a bit unnecessary. Unless you're doing extreme stuff, you need an extreme Core i7 CPU. But apparently, according to Intel, we'll see. Next thing, the Nintendo Switch became Nintendo's fastest selling console ever. I guess I feel like this isn't too surprising because it's cheap. It's $300.
Yeah, it's a new cheap-ish thing.
And it's mobile and
I think it's like $250.
Is it? I think it's more.
We should know.
The guy at my work was buying one.
Let's just get the yeah, $300.
$300. It's actually kind of expensive.
How much was the Wii U when it came out?
Like $300.
Was it?
Did they come out with any
maybe $350. $350.
Yeah, about the same.
The deluxe set.
Yeah.
Basic set was.
Yeah, base was $300.
Does the base come with the gamepad?
Yeah.
What did the deluxe have?
It came with like a game and maybe like a Pro controller or something. I don't know.
Oh. Okay. Well, that doesn't seem that expensive.
Oh, it came with more memory. Yeah.
Do they have any other games for it that are pretty well known besides Breath of the Wild?
No.
Do they have
Not
any
yet.
other games?
There's a few. There's like some indie games.
Breath of the Wild's pretty good to carry it for a little bit.
Yeah, I was skeptical about the game, and we got it on the Wii U, and it's pretty good.
It's not optimized as much for the Wii U as it is for the Switch.
Yeah.
Because you drop frames on the Wii U. But it's still pretty good.
I feel like it'd be interesting to play. You can play it on the gamepad with the Wii U, but I feel like it'd be interesting to play with like the Switch just on the go, because that's the main benefit of the Switch. But I've heard a decent amount of complaints of people having problems with like the first iteration of the Switch, just like buggy stuff happening, like broken systems.
Also, some people aren't too fond of the controls because the joysticks are kind of a little bit weird.
Yeah, people were getting them stuck because they tried to like put them back in the thing the wrong way. But obviously, if it's selling this well, then people like it. So I don't know. I'm not in the market to buy one, but yeah. I mean, fastest selling console in Nintendo history. Well,
that's something.
I'm gonna assume that the Wii U didn't hold that title. Because
no, it'd probably be
no way.
I'm not sure, but well, I know the Wii was like crazy when it first came out.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago. Now
that actually probably was holding the title beforehand.
Maybe a 3DS, because that sold really well in Japan, and it still does with the new 3DS.
Yeah.
I don't know. Switch is cool. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to a little bit something different. We're gonna do our code demo, and first we're gonna talk about what it's gonna be using, which is Firebase Cloud Functions. And this came out recently, and it's basically Amazon Lambda. It's a step towards like serverless computing and like server-side code, but you don't need your own server to do it. So basically,
it just runs once.
Yeah, so you can set up different triggers through Firebase or like HTTPS stuff, and have it run your code. And it's Node.js, which is great because they have the SDK for Node as well, for regular Firebase stuff. So we're gonna run through a little demo for this. Basically, if you wanted to follow along, you would need to create a Firebase project, and then that's pretty much it. So once you have that set up, you need to install the Firebase CLI tools, which you can get with npm. So you can do npm install globally Firebase tools. I'm not going to run it because I already have it. That's how you get those. And And then you need to log in to Firebase, so you can basically attach the functions project to your Firebase project. So you just do Firebase login for that. And then you can see here I've created a directory and CD'd into it. So I'm going to show you basically how to create a Firebase project with the CLI. You just do Firebase init. Pretty simple. Yes, I'm sure. Okay, so then we're going to select functions, and it's going to ask some stuff. So I'm going to associate it with this cloud function test project. And basically you can go through the defaults or configure however you want. So yeah, you would install the dependencies there. Yeah, that's fine. Don't care. Okay. So now I'm going to switch over to a project I already created. So basically this is going to give us a couple of examples of cloud functions that we can demonstrate here. So the first thing that we're going to do is just a simple hello world. So basically the syntax is you just are exporting it like you would in a module. And then so here we're importing the Firebase functions module, and then so we're doing on request of HTTPS just at this URL for hello, we're gonna just send a simple response. And basically when you deploy this, it's pretty neat because it's gonna give you the URL that this will actually be mapped out to. So I'm gonna it takes a couple minutes to actually deploy it, so I'm gonna go ahead and run that command. And then we'll see that as I'm explaining this next thing. So this, I think a couple podcasts ago, we showed off GeoFire, which is a way to store location-based.
That was episode 3.
Yeah.
Episode 3.
To kind of store in Firebase databases, like location information, like coordinates, but off of the main data. So it's like really fast when you query it. So basically what this does is uses Firebase Cloud Functions to, whenever you set a location object on like an object in your table, it'll automatically create that in GeoFire as well, and then push that to like your locations table. So this syntax is a little bit different. We're setting a trigger for the database. So we've got a reference set up at this path. So we just have objects, and then we have a push ID, and then location, and location is that reference that's just like the property of our object. And then so we're saying on write, and then that'll give us the callback whenever something is written to this location. So then we're getting an event back, and basically we can use the event for the database part of Firebase Cloud Functions to get the data. So we're just going to assign that there. And then we want to get the root reference of our Firebase database so that we can store the GeoFire location. So from the data, we can get the reference of that. Then we just go up to the root and then say, okay, we're going to put it in locations from there. Then we do something similar like how we did with our other GeoFire example. We just instantiate a new GeoFire object on that locations reference. Then we can pretty much just set it. So we're going to get the parent key of basically this push ID here. So we're getting that from the reference, from the parent of the reference of the data, and we're getting the key from there. And we can just do some logging. And Firebase Cloud Functions is nice because you can pretty much see immediately when this gets triggered, it's going to log all of the stuff we're telling it to. So you can see, do some debugging in there and see if everything's working all right. So we're just going to say we're setting the GeoFire for the key at, and then this will be the location. So like in normal Firebase, when you're working with a database, you can do .val on your reference, and that'll give you like the value at that path. So that what this is going to give us is our array, which is a length of 2 that has the coordinates for latitude and longitude. So with that, we can just use GeoFire, our reference that we created here, to set it at the parent key to that location. That's pretty much it. And this is like a nice example because this is something you could actually do in like a real project. So we can see that it's deployed here, and so we've got the function URL for hello. We're gonna just go to that really quick. So we can see here, refresh, and it's gonna say hello from Firebase Functions, and that's what we told it to say. So that's an HTTPS trigger. Now, what we want to actually have this produce is going to be something like this. So you can see I have an object in the objects table called, with the push ID is crazy push ID, and then I gave it a name and a location, and then you can see this is what it will produce. So I'm going to go ahead and erase the locations data, and then erase the location on this object. And then I'm just going to do this right in here. I'm going to add the location, and I'm going to give it an array with some totally made up coordinates that are probably in the middle of the ocean. There. And then you can see it just went ahead and did that function and pushed it into locations. So this is the GeoFire information. You can see it's got the same ID and then the location data with the geohash. So we can go ahead and go on over to the functions section, and you can see both of these functions that we have give you some pretty cool information, the number of executions, median runtime. That's really helpful for like if you're paying for Firebase and you need to know like how efficient your functions are running. This is some good information for that. We can go ahead and go into the logs and then see what it did. So it actually said, yeah, setting GeoFire for key, crazy push ID, to location, 4579. And then function execution took 70 milliseconds, finished with status OK. That's pretty much it. Did it successfully. So this opens the door for a lot of really cool stuff you can do. I like Amazon Lambda, and we did a demo on that a while ago. And if you're using Firebase in your apps or projects already, this is another good option for that. They have some really good examples of crazy stuff you can do, because you can link it up to like push notifications. So you could say like, oh, you have a store app, and you want to say whenever a new item is added, you could notify your users or something like that. And then this is pretty much the perfect thing for that, without always having a server running, without using like too many resources for that.
Which is definitely the direction that a lot of things are going.
Yeah,
it seems like is
it's like
stuff.
We have like the event-based model, and this is pretty much an extension of that, just going without the server completely. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty neat. And there's a possibility for like a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, I think that wraps it up for this episode. So thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you guys in the next one.
See ya.